So, one of the things that's been just so obnoxiously prevalent in the news recently that we almost like can't not talk about is this coronavirus.
Yeah, drinking too many crispy boys.
Yeah,
Drinking too many Coronas.
I've always wondered if like people if that is taking a hit like on like their stock hit or if it's on the front of people's minds and like, ooh, I want to
I
drink
heard
a Corona.
recently someone was calling it like some other name, like Cat 19 or something. Like there was like some other like name that
like
was more
H1N1, like pig,
like
swine
SARS or whatever.
flu,
You
yeah.
know, there's like a technical name, and then there's like the other thing. But yeah, I think
we can call it Winnie the Flu. Because we all know the guy. No, because do you guys not know about this? The guy,
the guy in China, he looks like Winnie the Pooh.
He looks like Winnie the Pooh.
That's
and you
funny.
Can
That would
like,
troll him so
you can
hard.
get,
I thought you made that up. I was like,
no.
boo.
Well, did you make up the Winnie the Flu thing?
I mean, I read it on the internet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not an original poster over here.
I was gonna say.
I'm a goddamn thief.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah,
That's funny.
you can literally get
Winnie the Flu.
like kicked out of China or
For
like
posting Winnie
going
the
to
Pooh
prison
memes.
or executed if you fucking post Winnie the Pooh memes next to their president or their.
Yeah, he looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. So I think this is one of the most over sensationalized shits ever. I mean, yeah, it's scary because it can be transmitted through the air. Yeah, it's scary because we don't have any vaccines for it. Yeah, it's scary because there's a 14-day incubation period where you can host it and not have any symptoms and then be sharing it to people. But
And it can kill people, like people with compromised immune systems and old people and stuff like that.
yeah, it's like
For sure.
if you're old, if you're sick, if you're a baby, if you have any type of compromised immune system, it can kill you. It's not a
For
death
sure.
sentence, but it's literally just the flu. Like ride it out for 7 days and then you'll be fucking fine. Like, and then you probably won't get it again because your body's so used to it.
Yeah.
So
But
it's like
should you ride it out at home or should you go to the hospital?
I think just like all things, you ride it out at home as long as you can until it's unmanageable.
Yeah, I guess so. I just think in the case of I guess in the case of like China, like they're trying to like quarantine it. So if you're just staying at home, I guess there's nothing you can do. But if you're passing it to like family members and all that shit, because it kind of goes back to like the idea of like everyone in a lot of Asian countries they wear masks. And like a lot of times it's not for yourself. That's not for yourself. It's for other people.
Yeah, it's,
Like, you're trying
to
to-
prevent spreading, not to prevent it coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's such a miss. They're like, oh, I'm not sick. Let me put on a mask to make sure I don't breathe in something. And it's like that's wrong. That's backwards. Like you wear the mask as a way.
I mean, it
yeah.
can act as a barrier for certain things for sure.
But you have to have like a respirator, not some dumb hospital mask.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hospital mask is
the
mainly
little paper stupid thing.
it's mainly to contain your own germs inside
so
of
if
you.
you cough or sneeze, you blow it into this like filter.
Well, hopefully you're not sneezing into your own mask. That'd be disgusting.
Well,
but yeah.
I'm not saying you blow snot every time.
I know. You're just like munching on your own like snot every day.
Yeah, but there's been some really interesting like things like, for example, like my sister is in the middle of renovating her house right now, and she ordered some cabinets, and they're stuck on a container ship because
Oh,
she can't like
shit.
they're supposedly have Corona on them, and it's like
Someone spilled some beer on them, dude.
yeah, dude. So it's like
Some cerveza.
she's joking about it. She's like, "Do we want these Corona cabinets, or
Corona
or are we
cabinets.
gonna like have to buy new ones?"
That's funny.
You know, I think about the cruise ship,
Yeah,
right?
the Diamond Princess, dude.
Yeah, wasn't that the same company that had the cruise ship flip over in Italy?
That was a Costa Concordia.
Oh, okay.
But
It's the same company, right?
it's owned by Carnival.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who Diamond is owned by, but is a cruise ship in Japan, and the quarantine is now over, apparently, unless you have it still. So if they determined on so basically, just to catch people up to speed, so there was this cruise ship that was like cruising around in Japan, and it was found that during this like whole crazy outbreak that some of the people on board had coronavirus.
It was one person, I think,
that showed
and-
the signs.
and then they locked her away in an infirmary. And then other people started getting symptoms, so they were like, okay, this boat stays out there.
Yeah, pretty much. And so basically, they had, I mean, there's tons of people on cruise ships. And like in the beginning
Cruise
days when
ships
they
are massive.
yeah, they're fucking huge. And when it first happened, they were letting people like roam around and whatever. And then when they figured out that other people were getting it, they basically quarantined everyone to their rooms.
Oh, crap.
So you weren't even allowed to leave your cruise ship room, which are tiny as shit.
Very small.
Because in a cruise ship, the only time you'd really ever want to go to your room
Sleep, basically.
is to sleep.
Yeah.
Because when you're out, you're gonna be like chilling. You know, there's places on the deck to lay down. You know, you're chilling by the pool. You're going to eat. There's a buffet. You know, there's so many areas to go chill that your room is like the worst place on the ship. So you wouldn't even want to hang out there. But there was, you know, there's people from all over the world. There's British people. There was, Korean people. There was people from the United States. There's all kinds of people on this ship. And for the past few weeks, it almost felt like to a lot of these people that they were just like kind of forgotten because like they were literally just sitting at port. They weren't even like floating around the ocean anymore. They're at the port, but they were just in quarantine to their rooms. And
Ugh, that would just be.
I think it was yesterday.
I would hate that so much.
Yeah,
I'd
yesterday.
be so mad.
Hundreds of passengers got to walk off. Because actually, the United States went in and like got our people somehow. Like the Americans were able to like get out, but still stay quarantined in America. Like they got like chartered like a special flight that would only have those people on it. Same thing with Korea, I believe. Like they got their people out. And like some of the British people were like, what the fuck? Like it feels like we just got forgotten. Like there's nothing from the UK. But anyways, they were coming in and like, you know, doing checks, like swabbing people's mouths and things like that. But it was really crazy because they got the people that didn't have it got the all clear like yesterday. So like hundreds of people got to walk off this ship. But it was crazy because like apparently like there wasn't very many taxis. Like they were still walking like under this like crazy tarp. Like, you know, like because people, you know, think about it. If you're a taxi driver, you're going to go pick up the corona people.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
No thanks.
you know, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, they had 443 passengers that got just released to the port. And the confirmed infections still on the cruise ship is 621. The day that all those people got released, there were 79 new cases announced. So 621 people are still on that cruise ship that still have coronavirus, and 2 people died. It was 2 old people, 83, a man and a woman in their 80s that tested positive and they died on the ship.
So the people that, you know, got out, are they under any sort of like?
I don't think they're under
close
quarantine
eye?
anymore.
Well,
I don't know.
that sounds dumb because it could live on them for weeks, and without showing symptoms.
I mean, but
It's like you'd think
they've
they would
been
just go to a
quarantined in their
hospital.
rooms. You know, they've been quarantined in their rooms for the past like week or whatever. And if they haven't shown signs, it's like, what are you gonna do? Just hold them forever? You know?
Yeah, that
And
is
it's like
true.
they're not even sick. Like, you know, it's like that's like a human right type of thing. It's like, yo, dude, like I don't got this shit. Like you need to let me out of here before I get it. You know?
Yeah,
Think about if you were trapped in there, you'd want to get set out. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't want like the government like watching you and shit.
Yeah, I was heard about a Wall Street Journal article that was posted about basically they were just like criticizing like the weakness of Beijing about how they responded to this and like the cover-ups they were trying to do or did, and you know, like the inappropriate measures they took or didn't take.
Yeah.
And
They acted pretty quickly
how
though,
they
on this one.
how they didn't alert people and like blah blah blah. But yeah, so there was a lot of like there was a huge criticism piece, and then China had 3 Wall Street Journal like journalists, thank you, I said employees, journalists living in China, and they just kicked him out. And it's like these people had nothing to do with that article at all, but they were like, we don't want him here, get him out of here.
Yeah.
It was
I
like-
mean, they want to control the conversation.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
And those people had written on you know, like those like Muslim internment camps, and like they've written on like a lot of these like really crazy topics. So China was like, we need any excuse.
We don't want you in here.
We need to get any excuse to get these people out of here.
Yeah. And it was the other thing that was kind of interesting about the cruise thing is it's not China, it's Japan, you know? So it's like they weren't the initial ones dealing with this. So it's like kind of evolved.
Right. I mean, this is obviously turned into a worldwide thing. I mean, I've been so focused on my health that I really haven't paid too much attention to stuff, but I guess there's a lot of like airports that aren't taking flights from China anymore, and there's a lot of borders that are closed, and
it is kind of crazy. And it's, I mean, fortunate for us here in the United States, like we're pretty far removed from all of this that it hasn't seemed that crazy or real. Like it almost kind of just feels like, oh, there's this thing happening, but
it reminds me
I'm not going out with a mask on, like scared for, you know, like
me neither
catching it.
It reminds me of Ebola. Remember when Ebola was like a big deal, and it was like spreading all over Africa and Europe, and people were panicking and freaking out, and it was always in the news cycle, and like, oh no, we've got a couple of cases of Ebola here in the US, and everyone panic. And it's like, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want the full episode, you can click right here. If you want to subscribe, click here. If you want more clips, we got 2 more right over here.